Welcome back to 80scomics.com. Never have we needed G.I. Joe more than we do right now. Roadblock and Storm Shadow are not practicing appropriate social distancing. It's very unsafe. Cobra Commander might crash into them also. Let's take a look at issue number 24 from June of 1984, back when the world was a much simpler place, where we got advertisements for Moon Patrol on the Atari 2600 and 5200. Before I get started here, let's have a little public service announcement. Make sure to call your local comic book shop and order some comic books. They can use the business right now, I assure you. And you're sitting at home, probably bored, under quarantine, and you can use some 80s comics to pass the time, because the future sucks. The 80s were good, though. Like, really, the only thing you had to worry about in the 80s was global thermonuclear war, and then everything would be over pretty quick. Nobody would be left to complain about it on the internet, because the internet didn't exist. Also, nobody would be left to complain about it. The Baroness returns after being blown up a couple issues earlier, and the Hulk is advertising Cookie Crisp. But Cookie Crisp sucks compared to Apple Jacks, so what's the point? G.I. Joe builds a base on top of a mountain to keep Cobra Commander safe. Of course, it's not going to happen because, the cover kind of gives that one away. There's the Baroness lounging around. Advertisements for Pac-Man. It's like that scene from Spaceballs. Major Bludd is hanging out playing with his dolls. So Wild Weasel and Firefly get called up to save Cobra Commander, who can drink coffee through his mask, by the way. Also, it's lined with C4, so they can't take it off or else they'll blow everybody up. Kind of an inconvenient mask, if you ask me. Using futuristic 1980s graphic imaging, they spot Cobra Commander from their bomber. And Storm Shadow jumps out and rescues him. Got some good action. Roadblock's trying to machine gun them, but he flies away, and Cobra Commander, being the dick that he is, takes this thing for himself and just leaves Storm Shadow in the woods. So then they have to chase down Cobra Commander using the Skyhawk. We get some air combat. We get some ground combat. We get a fun and enjoyable issue of G.I. Joe from the 80s. Issue number 24, highly recommended. Call your local comic shop and just order a whole bunch of random G.I. Joes. Everybody wins, especially you. And now you know. And knowing is the other half of the battle that you knew about in the first place. I think that's how that went. Hey, Popeye. See you next time on 80scomics.com.